G'day.
We're back.
We're back. It's been a couple of years.
It has probably been.
Or 12 months at least.
Probably been over 12 months, I reckon. Lots happened since then, man.
Oh, yeah. No, we're just talking about it at breakfast this morning that the last time you did a podcast, you're like, hey, I'm coming to Newcastle. Do you want to do a podcast? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, full building the house. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't even get changed and we just did a podcast. And
I think you borrowed the other fella's shirt that you were with.
I did too, yeah. I borrowed Mick's shirt.
And we just grabbed a couple of stools and sat in the hunting room.
Yeah.
And just did that. Because you had about an hour to spare. You rocked up. You let me in, parked, and I got the gear ready. And you rolled in a truck, had like bed frames on, mattresses.
I was moving in.
Yeah, you were still half constructed, but I think you must have had.
Yeah, I had the top half of the house done, so we were moving in, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a little bit's changed. Holy fuck.
It's crazy how it does like that when you get after it, like outside of all the usual life stuff, but like you start making changes at our scale when you're in business, and they're actually massive changes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just like...
It's funny because when you're busy, life feels really short, like it's going really quick. But when I think back to that and what I've fit in between the last podcast and this, I'm like, oh no, life's pretty long.
Yeah, it is. I think it's just because like a recollection of time feels so fast, but you actually achieve heaps. Like I'm mid-30s and I feel like I've lived 3 lifetimes, some of the shit I've done. Like even this morning talking about like how I used to catch crocodiles and stuff, that feels like 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I forgot about it literally until that conversation came up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's mental, eh? I think about that a lot. It was like I shot that big bull camel last August, and it wasn't until I shot that big bull camel that I was like, oh, I used to muster these things in the wild. and it was in my 20s, you know, and I think it was in my mid-20s as well. But yeah, that does feel like lifetimes ago. I love life when it feels like that, you know, and it's like sometimes it sucks because it's, you know, such a hustle and bustle that it's hard to find time for certain things, usually other people, essentially. But I love the feeling of fitting so much in and doing so much, you know, and I talk about it all the time because you don't know your end date. I don't know my end date. I'm trying to do as much as I can, be as nice a person as I can, you know, and enrich other people's lives and my own life at the same time. Yeah.
Well, at least that way, like, you know, if you do drop dead by 40 or 50, you've had a good crack. You know? Like you're not going to die with regrets. That's my biggest fear. Yeah. It's like dying of cancer or being old or something and sitting there going, I wish I did all these things, but I can't. I can't now. I'm too old or I'm too physically unable or mentally unstable or whatever else it is.
Yeah, I had that at a very young age, you know, and I used to, there was even a T-shirt that said, it's like, you only live once, the T-shirt was, you know, and it's like not a fear of living, a fear of dying, you know, and it's just like, so it pushes you to live, you know, and it's like, the brand was no fear at the time. I was only a teenager.
Yeah.
And I was like, I loved it. And I already had those sediments inside me where I was like, yeah, I don't know how long I get to live or anything like that. So the fear of dying young has made me do a lot, you know, and just get after it.
I think people don't realise, like people don't, remember, whatever you want to call it, that they're going to die is what I think it is.
Yeah.
Like they're happy just going out day to day, work your 9 to 5, come home, do fuck all in the afternoon and have your weekends and do the same shit all the time. Like that scares the shit out of me, man.
It's a trap though, eh? Because it's like the society we live in, it's like you actually need finances to do things. You know, you actually need money, and how do you make money? It's like I need to go and work. Usually that's for someone else, and it's just like you get stuck in that trap. I work my guts out for most of my life, but I've kept finding time in between and going really broke in between because I'm not at work making money. But it's just like, fuck it, at the end of the day, like none of that matters, but up in here and what's in here is what really matters, you know?
Yeah, well, I think like our era came up pretty well because we came up pre-internet and we were taught by like our parents and grandparents and stuff, like the work ethic and all of that, like thick-skinnedness and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we literally had this conversation this morning. It's never been easier for young people to just achieve now financially, whatever fame, whatever they want. Yeah. It's never, for us, like that option wasn't really there because I came from like low to middle income earners. So, and those opportunities were never there. The internet didn't exist, so you didn't even know those opportunities existed. You had to go looking, and you needed money to be able to go looking. But now, like, it's at your fingertips. Yeah, you can reach out to anybody.
There was no remote working from home, via your laptop or your phone or whatever. I always said in business, like, this was this was a big part of me being able to go and do whatever I wanted to do, because I could do emails and phone calls right from this, you know. And it's like at some of those backcountry hunts that I used to go on when the business was like booming or I was really trying to pump it, I used to carry, there was an aerial in my backpack with a signal booster that I used to plug into an old Nokia phone, so I'd get signal out in the mountains or out in the desert.
Yep.
So I could still, and I'd get back to camp at night and I'd go into my emails and I was still working, you know, because, you know, obviously trying to make a living while I'm away to be able to go on the next hunt. And then, so yeah, it really was, it's a gift having that, and it's made so much more available. It also fucking sucks because it was hard to get away from work, you know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, and if we're talking business-wise, with my business, it was like employing the right managers beyond that point when I didn't have to have that on myself, you know, to monitor work or, you know, keep an income going. One of my really good friends, Ben Chambers, was the same, you know, like both at the same time were like, how the fuck do we go away hunting and doing these mad trips without going broke? And it's like, well, we need to employ people, you know. And then so I become an employer myself, where I had people employed with me who become part of the trap, and I was part of the trap too, you know, trying to make money and, you know, get through life as best you can and, you know, afford hunting gear, fuel, a vehicle, flights to another country. It's like, it's all expenses, you know, so you do get in that trap. And it's like right now I'm out of that trap in a sense where I'm trying to do as little as possible and have as little as possible, so there's not other expenses that, you know, I can just spend money on fuel, flights, the simple things, you know, and pretty much live off grid. But yeah, and Ben Chambers did exactly the same thing. He started up a business. He's an employer now. He can go away. The business keeps rolling over. He's obviously got a good manager and just like beautiful, happy days.
How'd you go about letting go? Like for me, it was hard for a while because not a lot of people could do what I do, even just the physicality of it, of the stuff that we do.
My biggest one, like I was stressed. I was super, super stressed. Like business got harder and harder, had more and more issues with clients paying, more and more issues with clients, you know, liquidating or going bankrupt themselves, and just like they can't pay their bills, and it was a knock-on effect. Competition become really hard. Like there's so much competition out there in business now that it was really stressful for me. And I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not a greedy person. I don't need $1 billion in the bank. I don't need millions of dollars in the bank. I just need enough to be able to live, because I realized that time away from that was so much more valuable than having a bunch of money in the bank. And so I gradually made the steps to move away from the business and you know, basically cease the business. And I remember when I finally ripped that Band-Aid off, dude, like I was just, it was like so much weight off my shoulders, you know. And you know, you hear everyone talking about all the good things about business, you know, like, oh, once you're, you know, a boss and all that. It's just like, fuck, that's never been me. No. I've never liked firing people. I've fired hundreds of people over the last 30 years or however long I've been in business. Probably 30 years I was in business for. I've fired that many people, and some of them deserve being firing because they were fucking useless. And some of them just weren't good at the tasks that they thought they would be good at when they signed up for it, you know. I always hated that. I hated chasing clients for money. I did, you know, you do what you got to do, right? So it's like, not at the time I don't hate it. At the time I come to you like an absolute savage to try and get the money that you owe. But I never liked chasing money. I never liked the stress of, you know, it was the building industry. It's like this in Australia. It's up and down constantly. You know, you got your highs and lows. And I got to the point where I could just look at the whole picture over the whole year, you know, or even multiple years, where it's just like, yeah, it's high and low, but if you flatten it out, it's all here. So I was very good at it like that, very diplomatic in work, very driven when it come to it, you know, because that's what you have to be. But being driven doesn't mean I enjoyed it, you know, and being successful doesn't mean I liked it, you know, and it's just like, because I've never seen that really as me, you know, but it's just like the society that we live in, I felt like, well, you got to do what you got to do, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely the weight off my shoulders after that, and not having that stress anymore, you know, and just like, I never had time for my actual health. Like, that's how I really feel. I never had time for my actual health, you know. 3 kids at the time, which were a lot younger than they are now. They're all grown up now. But 3 kids, running the household, you know, my wife at the time, running the business, and it was multiple businesses, and then, also trying to do what, makes me who I am, which is hunting in the outdoors. So it was a lot. And then it's hard to function correctly when there's so much on your plate like that. And then all those things took priority over my health. I stayed healthy because I was always on the tools, and I stayed healthy because I've always hunted, so in that sense, but not to the degree of, what medications could benefit me, what supplements could benefit me. And, going and getting my blood tested, and the whole audience knows this now. I go to Ways to Well. They took my blood. There was a heap of things that were off. Testosterone was down. Insulin levels weren't great. There was a bunch of things that I didn't know about. And they were like, your stress levels are through the roof. And I'm like, really? I feel the least stressed I've ever been. They're like, well, it doesn't quite work like that. And then so to get supplements, and it doesn't hit straight away, it takes time. But to have the time to actually continue to do the supplements, do that check, and then feel 100% better, to have the time to actually go to the gym now, and to look into it further, like hypoxic conditioning, like with a company called Leonix, hypoxic conditioning. And I set up a studio at home, which made it a lot easier to lose weight, made it a lot easier to get ready for the mountains here as well. And then I basically gone from, I'm 45 now, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. And I wouldn't have that if I still had those businesses flat out like that. So yeah, I think that's the real big thing with like letting go, is actually finding time in yourself to actually do things that really fucking matter.
100%. I agree. And that's when because I was doing full-time corporate work, and this basically full-time as well. There was no weekends for me. There was no holidays. I couldn't go and do something fun unless it have business associated with it. And then the moment I kicked the full-time corporate gig, I was like stressing, because I was like, oh, it's fucking so much money I'm giving away, and there's no stability and security and all those things that I'm just used to. The moment I did it, the next day I was just like, I had mental clarity. I was way more driven to achieve more in my business, because I didn't have to think about the 30 other people I was a manager for, like all that other stuff. And even Melanie said was like, I'm a completely different person, much happier, much everything. And like now my business has scaled so much quicker because I've been able to spend the time I want to spend. And I can still work. Instead of working 8 hours a day, I might work 6 and still achieve more than I ever did when I was doing 12, 14 hours, and then also have time to go and train and go and like do that sort of shit, you know what I mean? Like look after your health and go and get your bloods done and actually spend time looking after yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you become focused on a different level within yourself too, because it's like it's that mental clarity. And for me, it's like I sold the businesses about the same time that the kids were all like becoming adults. And it's like, so there was multiple retirements for me, there was like the selling the business, which was the biggest stress. And, I had up to 100 employees at any one point. Being financial as well, which was a big part of it, which I'm not anymore anyway, but being financial, we'll get to that bit too. Being financial, getting rid of the businesses, and like I'm a very, like I wear my heart on my sleeve. I really do. And it's just like, so every employee, that's why I say I didn't like hiring or firing. Actually, I liked hiring because you're giving someone the opportunity, to make finances and better their life. And I was always a good, kind boss in that sense. So I knew they were coming into a good environment. So that was nice. But to not have to look at someone and be disappointed in them, or not have to fire someone knowing that, like, what do they do after this? This is what I mean. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Ruining their life kind of thing.
I'm a sensitive person in that way, that it's just like, is this making their life harder? And it's just like, yeah, but this isn't a charity, and it's making everyone else's life harder, because if we're not productive, and then we're not financial, it's just like, well, everyone's job's at risk, so it's something you have to do, but I never liked it. But yeah, the kids getting older and becoming adults and turning into their own people, which is a friggin' trip, by the way. And then followed by, I was married for 25 years, and that all come undone at the same time as well. And not in a good way, she was, I won't say it on camera, but, she was basically going behind my back for like 5 years with one of what was supposed to be one of my best friends, you know. So it's like I went through a bunch of shit at the same time. And the only reason I mention that is because that was sort of retirement as well. I got rid of the business. The kids got older and they were good by themselves. And I also essentially got rid of the wife, you know, and it's just
all at once too.
Yeah, and I it definitely wasn't easy. You know, people want to talk about it and gossip about it, and it's like a part of it's like, well, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to tell you that I was fucking suicidal? Do you want me to tell you that how's that going to benefit me? Me telling you about the pain that I went through. Like, what do you want to know? You know, all them, you know, it's just like people want gossip. Like, what do you want to know? Do you want to know how fucked I was? Like, of course I was fucked. I cherished and loved that woman for over 25 years. It wasn't something that happened easy. But when someone's been having an affair behind your back for 5+ years,
you're not left with many options.
What am I gonna do? So you know, I come out the other end of it. Took a lot of strength to get there, but I come out the other end of it, and I even felt like that was another form of freedom. You know, freedom not being a businessman anymore. Freedom not having. I'll worry about my kids until the day I die, but a different sort of worry about your kids. You know, they're older, they fend for themselves. They're doing their own thing. And then the freedom to be me, not by my choice, but in the end, the freedom to be me. And the freedom to be me was just doing what I usually always do. Like, I like protecting people. Like, that's just a manly, fatherly thing to do. I really like the protection in people, whether it's my own people or some stranger on the street. I like being a provider, which really leads down to hunting as well, like one of the big things that's appealing in hunting. I love the outdoors. I just got to focus on all the things that I really value in life and enjoy in life, you know. And it's like, essentially, this is why I'm sitting in a podcast room with you. I told you today, I think for like 2 years, the only podcast that I did was like yours and Rogan's. Because I really didn't have any other time, you know, to do anything like that. And now I've got time to concentrate on things that enrich my life, essentially. Hence, we're in America now too.
Yeah.
It's like, it is. It's like all these revolving doors, and like they've all led to here, you know.
Yeah, opportunity creates opportunity too, I reckon. Like, you got to put yourself out there. Like, I sort of like forced myself into your schedule sort of thing. Like, just kept in touch and trying to like find a window where you had time and then make the effort to go and do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And same as the reason I'm here is to try and like do more business and have more meetings and meet more potential clients and brands and more people that sort of I enjoy hanging around. But I wasn't going to get that if I didn't just take a risk. And I might get fucking nothing out of this trip over here, and to these hunting shows and stuff. But I might. And I'm always one of them people that just fucking say yes and just figure it out.
But you'll get rewarded for it because you take those risks, you know. As a lot of people won't even take those risks. And we were talking about the show, you know, the expo that you did. And it's like that's a big fucking leap to go and do something like that and pour your heart and soul, let alone finances, into it. You know, and it's like, but what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You're unsuccessful? Like, fucking whatever. At least you had a crack, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know that's I'm big on just having a go and saying I did. Like, because then it's either like I'm a big believer in the blessings or lessons. Like failures, you turn failures into lessons, and it changes your mentality. Oh yeah,
they're a great teacher. A lot of people have always struggled with me saying that actually failing would be better for me, and it's usually when I'm on an elk hunt. And there's those horrible elk hunts in the backcountry. Yeah, and it's like you make every effort still, right? Yeah. Every effort to make it happen, but at the end of the day, if I'm unsuccessful, that'll be a better teacher. Because like, what's the next year feel like then, or the next? Business-wise, what's the next business venture? You know, you're wiser for it, you're better for it, you're hungrier for it, you know, and it's just like...
you can see what you go, like, I pushed myself to the physical and mental limits for that hunt. So then you know, like, what they even roughly are. Then you go next time, it motivates you to, like, exceed those limits. Yeah. The fitness that you get, you would have had, like, on those hard hunts where you didn't take an animal, you would have had... heap of other like nice experiences, sunsets, wildlife, like all that sort of stuff that you get from those trips, man. I reckon that's why I love hunting.
No, the kill's a very small part of it, and it's like a lot of people struggle to understand that, especially if they're not hunters and they do the backcountry stuff. You know, it's like Yeah, I don't think you've really realised the extent of why I'm coming out here because, yeah, that's like the quarry. That's what I'm after. But it's everything that I do on the journey to get to hopefully what I'm after.
It's purpose to the process.
Yeah.
I think.
I try and show that. I try and show the sunsets, the sunrises, wildlife that you're not even hunting, the whole experience, the hardship of it, the lot, because it's like that's the whole picture. That's the whole picture.
The death of the animal's like 1% or less, I reckon.
Yeah.
Out of those big trips, man, those big backcountry trips, fucking knows.
Yeah, they're the icing on the cake and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, we had that trip I was telling you in New Zealand last year and we got caught in a blizzard for like nearly 48 hours. It's that, I don't know if you know about it, but like Canterbury, it was like the first big flood in Canterbury that they've had in like 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole joint went underwater.
Yeah.
So we were up in the west coast for that. And it was just sideways wind and like wrecked 3 tents and it was awesome. We got helied in, so we had heaps of gear.
The good old West Coast.
Man, I ended up in a bivvy, like emergency bivvy, because half my tent ripped off in the middle of the night and I'm tying it down with shoelaces and all sorts of shit. So I just grabbed my clothes and my camera gear, shoved it in my sleeping bag and then jumped into one of those foil emergency bivvies that I keep in my pack, tied the back of my tent down and I ended up in that for like, basically lived out of it for 2 days.
Oh, damn.
Put my jet boil and some like mee goreng noodles and a bit of dry food in beside me and that's it. I just bunkered down in that for 2 days. Yeah, but people think that's like, a lot of people would say that's awful. But like,
yeah, no, you were loving the experience.
I was, man. Yeah, I was frothing it because I don't know, I like that kind of shit because not many people will do it or enjoy it, and then at the end of it, like I'll remember that for the rest of my days.
Yeah, those extreme elements. Because they can happen. The country's good for it, especially the West Coast. And then so when you get those extreme elements, it's almost like you're like, well, this is part of it. Know? And it's like think about elk and then a giant elk element-wise. You think about a smaller elk's like the nice weather, and then a giant elk is that horrible weather. It's like the best of the elements in a bad way. Yeah. Or it can be in a bad way,
Yeah. Well, I'm actually hunting myself this year over there.
Oh, nice.
And I've got a block picked out and it's like up a valley in the corner of like a gully and it just looks nasty.
Yeah, right.
And I reckon there's a big dirty old stag in there because no one's going to go in there. It's heli in, like you won't.
Cool.
Take you 3 days to walk in there.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't even know if I'm going to have like actual shooting lanes or anything, but I'm just going to go in there and see because like I feel like there'll just be a big dirty stag in there.
Yeah.
It's like on a sort of a bench up above a river basin and it's like 2 valleys that meet and it's just monkey scrub and shit in there.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. And I feel I like trying to like I can go into there and like even if I don't get an animal, I know like I had a good crack at it and like the physicality of it.
Yeah. The South Island, New Zealand, man. I could actually move there in a heartbeat.
Same.
I love the place. And then I got a really good friend there, Tyler there, which I'm actually going on the Reds with him for the Raw this year.
Oh, yeah.
And then Trav Hogan from Aimright. You know Trav? Yeah, Trav's going to go over there as well. I don't think he's hunted Reds before. So
does he bow hunt?
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, he's a good bow hunter too.
I was going to say, he'd have to bow hunt if he spearfishes, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd have to bow hunt if he knows me. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking know him.
True.
So, yeah, he does. But, so I think we've got a good week over there on the east coast of the South Island.
Yep.
Hunting red stags there. Place that I usually go, we haven't yet, but you could pull a free 40 free range red stag out of there. It's a cracking block. All dock land as well. So public land. New Zealand's got such a good system, eh?
Man, it's managed. It's like almost on par with the States, I reckon. Yeah. With how they manage it. Yeah. Even though they're feral animals, they still manage it appropriately.
Yeah.
And even all the big 3, like tar, chamois, reds, they manage them quite well, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon over the next couple of years, I want to do no bivvy, no nothing, like sleeping bag and that's it. And then organise, it takes some planning where you just go and this is such a great system in New Zealand, where you're going from hut to hut. And obviously if you find good game, you'd hang out a hut for longer but do it over a month or 2 months.
You could easily do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Would there be maybe 2 days hiking between huts?
Yeah.
Maybe 3? The whole way. You can get all the way down to the bottom just about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just rough it in between. But the point is that you're just carrying minimal, which, a lot of the weight is, sleeping bag, tent.
Yeah. Just walk the river basins.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it, And again, New Zealand's got that awesome mapping digital
mapping.
mapping.
NZ Topo, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's like this hut and that. And then when you go to the hut, it actually tells you if it's got bunks, a fireplace, mattresses, and it's just like, it's unreal, yeah.
Some of those huts that they built, like obviously Heli built them. Like Heli dropped the gear in to build them. Some of them are in the maddest zones, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like right up on the top of little gnarly peaks and shit.
Yeah.
And then right down in river basins as well.
Yeah, I've found a couple that are unmarked. They're more like what they'd call a bivvy. Like there's usually no fireplace or anything in there, but there's a bed and shelter in there. It's like most of the time that's all you bloody need.
Yeah. No, that'd be mad. Have you you haven't been there in ages, have you?
I did the Raw last year. I actually shot 2 nice stags last year.
Did you?
Yeah. It was tough because they had done a heli shoot for venison. And obviously most of the dockland's free range for them, and I think they took like 800 deer out of there or something with the helis. So like quite a big number, but still still seeing good stags every day, like decent stags every day. And then I would usually go back every year for tar and chamois, and I just like June, July. I like going when it's pretty snowy and it's pretty. if you're going to do it and you're up top, it's pretty hardcore. So and you want it to be like that. Like that's the romance of that hunt, that it's so hardcore. It freaks me out that they're up there all the time.
Man.
Like you don't see a bit of like vegetation or whatever, and there's like herds of tar and, a few chamois getting around. It's like, what are they eating? And then I watched them one day come out of this crack. It was actually a expedition I did with Yeti, and Sam Soholt was the photographer for it. And we were hiking up, and it was like a 6-hour hike every day to sort of get to where they started. And it's like, it's this the whole way. Just a full pitch the whole way. And we get up there, and it was sort of like you couldn't really go any further without probably walking over the top of them because you didn't really know where they were. So you sort of stayed at that, I don't know, you're still only like 300 meters from the top of the ridge. There's not a tar to be seen anywhere. Like you're looking at these big rock faces, and there's just like cracks in the rock faces. And it's just like was out of like Lord of the Rings. And it's like, and that it was like an hour before dark, and they just started like filtering out of the cracks.
Man, you see them like some of those bulls will stand like feet like that on a
4
rock.
feet together.
Like, what are you doing, man?
And look fucking comfortable as fuck. Yeah, and it's just I've nearly died twice doing that hunt now.
Chamois are cool, man. That's probably one of my big ones. I might even try and go back like May, June for one of them because Joe shot a really nice chamois buck. It was like 11 inches, 11 and a half inches or something, so decent buck. We saw him on like day 1 or 2.
Yeah.
We went to this sort of off this bench. We camped up on the ridge and then went down, and there was a big like massive peak and ridgeline went up into the scree and up into the snow and stuff. And we were down there glassing for stags on this bench, and then looked up, and here's this chamois buck sitting up there because they're just starting to rut. And Joe goes, watch this, and he gets this black jacket, and he starts like walking up the ridge like real funny. And he props it up on 2 trekking poles, this black jacket. And this chamois just starts coming down. Coming down. And Joe's like, he'll be here in a minute, I'll shoot him. Yeah. Then we just kept glassing for a bit, and he come down. And then the wind blew the thing over, and he fucked off. And then like 3 days later, we found sort of over the ridge line a mob of does. So we just sat there, and Joe said, I bet you that buck turns up eventually. And we sat there for like 4 hours. And sure enough, here comes this buck, rolls in there, and pretty sure it was the same one. Yeah. Yeah, Joe shot him.
Yeah, unreal.
It's mad, man.
Yeah, 2 of them I've shot, and it's from letting them see me, like crouched over on a ridge. Like they were in positions that there was no way I was ever going to get to them. But, they're like leaping off little cliffs and shit, so they can get to you easy enough. And it was just actually showing myself like crouched over just for a second.
Yep. They're inquisitive, man.
Dude, flying over, like ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure like there's no way, there's no situation where they don't see you unless you like they're always above you nearly every time.
Yeah, there's a few guys that shoot them out of the creeks, which I've never caught them down in those creeks, like those rocky timbery creeks.
But like in the beach and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There's a few guys that get in there and shoot them, and I've tried that a few times and I've never even spotted them. All of mine have been like what you're saying, and they're like out in the open, they're above you. It's all clear. It's all fucking like snow trash country, so it's like pretty much flat and barren. In a sense, it's barren except for rocks. And yeah, stalking's always going to be super difficult in that situation. But I like shooting them up there. Like, you got your spot and scope, you got your binos out. You know, it feels like a proper hunt where you're like searching one out.
100%. I think the thing I like about New Zealand too is like you can sit on a ridge and look down into a valley or across a face or whatever. The moment anything moves, you see it.
Yeah.
Because like pretty much if it moves, it's a game animal essentially because everything else is tiny there. Yeah. It's like you can see movement from so far away. Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoy New Zealand, man.
Oh, it's a good country. Yeah. They make a good coffee too.
They definitely do. Man, tell us about, I'm keen to hear about this muskox setup just because like it just sounds mad. Yeah. Like cold as balls,
It was fucking
bro.
mad. It was mad. It's funny because when I got, I actually got a bad scar under this eye and I got another scar down here. And just from frostbite that kicked in real fast. Anyway, it went away. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I flew back to Australia where fucking the sun's out nearly 24/7, especially up north. And I got a suntan and the scars come back. Like they really showed up. So they keep showing up. I'm not sure if you can see them on my face now.
A little bit, not really. I can tell you where you're pointing.
Yeah. But that's how crazy the country was. It's like there was a bad scar here and like it was exposed to the elements for maybe 20 minutes. And there was a scar over here, and it was like half the time. It was like maybe 10 minutes it was exposed for, and that's all it took. It just froze, like there was a big frozen lump there, solid. And, it was when I was first trying to line the hunt up, I was told that the season was closed, but it wasn't a season as in like, you know, you can only hunt them September, October. They just meant that the season was closed as in it's too cold to hunt them right now. That's what another outfitter had told us.
Yeah, right.
And actually 2 outfitters had told me that when I tried the book. And then I actually got my friend Joe involved. He's an outfitter and guide, and he's got contacts everywhere. And I got him involved, and he ended up lining up that hunt. But even that went to tell you that even though this is a business to these people, they still wouldn't do it at that time of year. And we end up moving further north as well, where it was even colder to go and do it. And long story short, basically rocked up middle of nowhere. Well, I think we were like 600 miles from the North Pole. Like it's pretty as far north pretty much as you want to go, because the muskox don't go, you know, all the way north either. And then, so we get there, and then we get in snowmobiles and go further north again to chase them. And it was freaking awesome. I had an hour and a half of shooting light each day. That's all it was. So the sun, you know, if this is the horizon, the sun's underneath the horizon doing this every day. And it wasn't until the last day that I realized the moon was in the sky 24/7. So the moon was just in the sky doing this. You know, it's like, that's so foreign. And that's the face of the moon that I don't see back in Australia either.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the opposite side.
Yeah, it was like, I kept looking at it, I'm like, fuck, the moon looks weird. And I'm like, so it was very foreign, you know. It's like, but again, it's like what we were talking about before, like the world becomes as big as it is, and it's a fucking big, big world. It becomes small when two things, you don't take no for an answer. You know, like you want to go somewhere, you go there. And then you realize that the world is our playground, you know, and it's like borders and countries and boundaries, and, you know, and it's like, this is the perfect way to extinguish racism as well. That we're all just a creature of this earth, you know, like
100%.
Not this land, not this country, not this state, not this blood. That's how I really feel. And feeling like that actually opens the whole world up to you. It's like, yeah, I'll go up there for sure. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then you intermingle with the locals, and, you know, it's like, oh, they're all friendly just like me, you know, well, not all friendly, but they're friendly just like me. They're people just like me. They're just, you know, which I've always known. But when you actually go there, you just, I don't know, you realize that, yeah, they were born there and they've got a certain name.
We're all just branches of one.
Hey?
We're all branches of the same tree,
you know, and then you get there and just, yeah, it was, so that was really appealing in itself, just to get there, hang out with the people that are born on that land, and go and essentially experience the world how they see it, and experience it, and just like, you know, food differences, clothing differences, speech differences, appearance differences, and
lack of resources.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like it doesn't look like the actual shooting of the animal doesn't look incredibly difficult compared to most, but the actual experience of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I went into that knowing that already. And I actually spoke to the guide and even the cameraman and everything, and I said, look, this is how I want it to go down. I've seen certain films where they just, they pretty much walk straight up to them. So I knew that they were an animal that, and they do this for a reason, because they can't outrun wolves and they won't outrun a polar bear, so they stand their ground. They're a big, strong, tough animal. They literally just put all their asses together. So all it is just like a shield of horns out. And if the predator, in this case me, comes too close, one of those bulls will usually sharpen his antlers on the ice and his horns on the ice and charge. So it's at the point when one puts its head down and starts scraping the ice, they're about to charge and you can't go further than that unless you want to get charged, which is a massive risk out there. Like, just tearing your fucking clothes is a risk. It doesn't even have to get a horn in. It's that cold.
Yep.
And then, because we did a conversion with the wind, when the wind was hitting, when there was a day there it was minus 58 degrees, that would have been pretty close to about minus 75 degrees. So your skin can't be exposed to that for very long at all and you're fucked. So,
minus 75 Celsius.
Hey?
Celsius.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's fucking like you're pulling fish out of the river, right? Swimming fish out of the river. They hit the ice, the surface, and they just freeze solid.
Instantly.
Solid. You kill your musk ox and you're trying to skin it and the skin's freezing on the musk ox. So it's like stiff board to try and pull off, It's like, it's extreme. But that's why no one wants to do it at that time of the year. That's exactly why I wanted to do it at that time of the year. I wanted to experience like something extreme, And then I already went into it knowing that you can't stalk them anyway, because the snow goes to like an ice under your feet and it's like the most screechy noise. No matter how soft you try and walk, it's the most screechy noise and it's just like quick, quick, quick.
Yep.
And there's no other sound anywhere. So it's just like that sound is just like radiant and seems like 10 times louder, because it's just no sound to block it out. So basically there was other things that were appealing, not the stalk, and it was the journey, getting there, the landscape, and how wild and untamed it was and how extreme it was, that was the point. You've still got to pull off a nice shot. You've still got to get in within range. And then the hard thing was drawing your bow back because you're so rugged up with clothing, and I needed goggles on, like any of us foreigners needed goggles on, because that air would hit your face and just like if the wind was blowing front on, like this whole part of your face would just die because it would just get frozen, So, and as it turned out, and I prepared as much as I could for that trip, I still didn't prepare enough because I was freezing my bow at like maybe -7 in a deep freezer at home. Well, it was -58. So it's like the nocks were shrinking up because the nocks were getting so cold in the arrows that the nocks were just falling out the backs of arrows. Because you don't glue your nocks in, they're just in by pressure. I'd glue them in now, but that could be even worse. The string on the bow was frozen to a certain degree that the arrow was just like lifting up. For some reason, the arrow was just like lifting up on the string, or it was from the nocks shrinking and getting too tight on the string that they were holding off. I actually ended up shooting my muskox high, and I was lucky it still got the top of the lungs and clipped the bottom of the spine that just dropped my bull, So I was very lucky in that sense. But and that was cool. It was cool picking out a big mature bull. It was cool doing all that sort of stuff. And it was like, but I got to say, one of the most appealing things of that whole trip was actually recovering the bull. So found the bull as soon as pretty much daylight hit, even though that's like 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. So found the bull, got in, made the shot, killed the bull, and then it was dark.
So you had to wait.
No, we just fucking got into it. Like we literally, it was like that light was fading, and then by the time we finished cutting the bull, it was like pitch black to take it back to the camp, get warm again, because like all of us were suffering, get warm again in the camp for the night, even though when I say night, it's like fucking day, night, and morning, then to travel back to the village and get the bull out. So it was like the recovery was such a big part of that trip. You know, I wanted the meat, I wanted the skin, I wanted the horns, you know, I wanted to fully savor the hunt in that sense. But yeah, and it's like, we're actually going to go out and look for polar bear. We're going to go and look for seals as well. And then the Inuits, the local guys that were there, were like, they seemed like they were in a bit of a rush to get out of there. I had a wolf tag as well. And so did Joe. He had a wolf tag as well. And the best place to hunt a wolf at that point would have been over the gut pile of the musk ox. They seemed to be in a rush to get out of there. And it was like, hey, do we stay here another night? And they're like, no, we need to go. There's a storm coming. And it's like, so even though they're locals, they feared a storm, and Simon ended up sending me a photo a week later or 2 weeks later when they went back to the cabin that we were staying at, and the cabin had blown over. So can you imagine being there in those minus temperatures? And if the cabin's blown over, chances are it's in the minus 70s, right, because of a big wind like that. You're in the cabin and it blows over, you're fucked. You die out there. Like, it was like anything wrong on that trip, like little things, a snowmobile breaking down, fucking your jumper blowing away or something like that. That could be the difference between survival and absolute disaster that could kill you, And it's like, it's very, like, human life's very, very fragile out there when it's.
That's what makes that shit appealing, I reckon.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm also interested in, that side of it, like just the pure mission it is to even just to go there, let alone try and hunt something.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not looking to die, but I wouldn't mind getting pretty close. It sounds fucked, It's like, it's not about dying. It's not about getting close. It's not about like hurting myself or anything like that. It's about testing myself, and it's like, because it's really appealing inside. And me and Evan Hafer talked about it on a podcast not long ago, and there's something ingrained, at least in a lot of us, including me, and I imagine you as well, because you're sort of chasing those sorts of things, talking about that elephant charging you and that.
Yeah.
That the same way you see hunting and it really fires up a flame inside you that makes you feel alive and makes you feel lots of things. Like, it makes you feel worthy and accepted and that you're supposed to be here and doing what you do. It's survival, and it's like, and I don't want to do survival where there's fucking cunts in the street shooting at me, or someone's trying to fucking stab me when I catch a train or something. I'm not talking about that sort of survival. I'm talking about proper wild survival when you're out in the wilderness and you're testing yourself against another creature.
Yeah, and I think that's what hunting is too, especially like, I think bow hunting amplifies it, which is what draws me towards that more than any sort of rifle work or anything like that. It's like it's almost a level playing field, and you've still got to have like really sort of technically advanced weapon, which is like the compound bows are crazy.
Yeah,
you can shoot 100 meters like a fucking gun just about. You've still got to have all the clothing and all the equipment, and you've got to have the binos and everything, and you're up against this animal that 9 times out of 10 will slip you if you don't do everything right. Like, that's appealing to me, I think. I really like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the challenge, it's a really natural challenge,
Yeah. All that fire in the belly you just mentioned, like, it's sad to think that there's people that would have never and will never have that feeling.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in modern day you can slightly get it from certain other things, whether it's just hustling as a business owner, whether it's being a good mother and like really like raising your kids right. And I think they all get that little, maybe a little flame in there every now and then, which they're forms of survival as well. But like, to be out in nature and do it, and I call like nature a creature, like mother nature, like testing yourself against that, to do those tests and then come out the other side stronger, more knowledgeable, more better, more fulfilled, it's like, and I guess that's not for everyone in this day and age, but fuck, it's for me.
It applies to life in general though, I reckon. Like, people get so stuck in mediocrity and then they end up just sad and fucking, like, a bloke we know killed himself a week ago, I think, from literally something similar to that, like left a family behind and all that sort of shit. And,
life's tough, man. Life's really, like, it gets really confusing, and it doesn't take much. Like, the human brain is so fucking fragile. in that sense that it doesn't take much to unwire the brain to a certain degree that seems like the best option, that's.
You don't even realize you're going downhill.
Yeah. No, you don't, and it's just like, unfortunately we've all seen it too much. I know a lot of veterans go through it and end up ending their own lives because they've seen certain things or been through certain things. And it's like the human mind isn't supposed to take all that on. I really don't believe it is. It's not supposed to take it all on. And then you've got media and everything in the background that's also feeding us just as much negative shit as it can. One of the big things that I did to try and help my life many years ago is I pretty much shut down all news outlets on my phone. And it's just like, and you still see some, like you can't help it. It just comes up, they're throwing it in your face and stuff like that. And, the politics of today and, it's just like, no politics has ever fucking helped me. No politics has ever helped me. So it's just like, why should I be so invested in it? And it's like, and it's the same with anyone talking negative or trying to be negative and just, especially some of the stuff that I've gone through more recently. It's just like fucking these people or person will do anything they can to try and bring your life down. So the best thing you can do is just shut them off. Yep. It's like, I don't have time for that. I've got people writing to me that they're like, you gave me hope to fucking fight cancer and I've beaten cancer. I got no fucking time for anyone's negative shit because I got time for doing positive shit. I want to help people, not bring people down. It's just...
Yeah, I'm exactly the same, man. Do you think that all of these experiences and all this life stuff that you've done has helped you through this sort of shitty time you've had the last 12 months?
For sure. And and it's just like, and I'm not saying it as in like poor Adam or whatever, don't give a fuck about me, I'm good. So I'm not saying it from that sense, but it definitely builds strength. Like I had a very abusive father when I was younger, very abusive to, me, my older sister, my little sister missed a lot of it, which was good. Very abusive towards my mum, to the point that I actually thought that was normal, And then, I got sexually assaulted when I was younger. I had fucking all different fights. I ended up living on the streets when I was 13 years old. I'd witnessed fucking murder, rape, suicide. All before I was 14 years old, I'd witnessed all those things. And in my younger years, those things are fucking destroying, absolutely destroying. Like, we talk about, not eating your vegetables, so you don't have the right strength and everything. Well, all that's like candy for the head, as in bad, as in really fucking bad. And that's how I've always thought about it. But I'll tell you what it did do. It made me realize this is how I've got to raise my kids. This is what I'm going to do different. This is how I'm going to be better. And just like, as soon as you start thinking like that, you're finding the positives even in a negative situation, to the point that I hit, my late 20s or early 30s, I start being appreciative for having an alcoholic abusive father because it made me stronger. It made me, I don't drink alcohol, and it's simply because of how he was. I never, even though when a couple of times I did drink alcohol as a happy drunk, not a violent drunk, I still didn't want to do that and promote that around my kids. It made me realize to have deep conversations with my kids, to be really close with my kids, to be really close with my wife at the time. It taught me how not to treat anyone, and just like, it was almost like I was proving to myself that I'm not my dad. So I treated my wife at the time like an absolute queen. I worshipped the ground that she walked on. I loved my kids, and I told my kids how much I love them, and I showed them how much I loved them. And then, so I'm like, I'm appreciative for that. I'm appreciative for living on the streets when I was 13. I'm appreciative. And when you start being thankful for all those things, and it sounds really morbid, it sounds really fucked. I'm glad all those things happened to me because it taught me and made me the sort of person that I am today. So how can you be regretful for those things? It's just like, I'm glad those things happen. And then, and even now, some of the stuff that I've been through more recently, you get to a point where I'm like, I'm glad that happened because I've found a new part of myself. I'm stronger. I made it through that way. I'm proud of myself for making it through that. It's like, yeah. And it always, like, even to me today, it's like, it sounds fuck when you're like, I'm appreciative those things happen because they're really horrible things. But who says that this life's not supposed to be hard and horrible? You know, even more often than not, who says that? It's up to you to be bigger and better, to be a fucking warrior, and it's like, one thing that's always stuck with me, you know, when I went through this stuff with my ex was my son was really upset because it didn't seem like I was upset, you know, and he's like, you know, it just doesn't seem like you're upset. I'm like, of course I'm upset, mate, but what do you want me to do? Do you want me to lay down and curl up in a fucking ball? No, I'm a fucking warrior. I've got to get up. That's what a warrior does. I've got to get up. I've got to get on with it, you know, not just because I want to, because I do want to, but because I have to, because I've got 3 children. I've got family and friends and stuff like that. I want to be there for other people, you know, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, it fucking hurt. But all it is training me to be better, you know, and you get past it and then already again, and you're like, fuck, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for that kind of mentality. Like a lot of people you talk to and you'll have these conversations with, I call them like normies, normal people. You have that conversation that you just explained to me then, and people will be like, oh, that's morbid, don't be so morbid, negative, whatever. But those people are the ones that'll block all that shit out and then struggle with it forever. Yeah. Like then their partner will die, or their mum will die, or their dad will die, and they'll be fucked. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, or their dog will die. Yeah. Like shit like that. And then that's all sad and stuff. But like what it does is like gives you strength to deal with it better.
Yeah, 100%.
And a practical way to use it as fuel to do other things and achieve more stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm exactly the same. Like a lot of people talk to me about like happiness, like seeking happiness. Happiness is just a fucking feeling, man.
Oh, dude, it's fucking all in here.
Bro, it's a feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
It's all in here. And I still, like, I struggle with it at times. Like, definitely no bullshit there. Like, it's difficult. But even right when I'm in the middle of that difficult situation, I've got the mindset to be like, this too will pass. And there'll be a new drama or a new issue or a new pain or whatever, you know, to come. So it's just like, once you've been on the back side of something and you know the reward out of it, then when you're in the middle of the shit, you've already got the vision like, oh, the backside of this is going to look pretty good too. And then already it fucking eases. Yeah. You know, because it's like and that's what I mean. It's all up in here.
You're in the fire and it's not as hot.
You know? My biggest stress my biggest concern over, you know, when I found out the ex was cheating was you guys have met him before too. Like people just go really sour. You know, it's like every fucking woman's a cunt. You know, it's like, no, it's an individual thing. It's an individual thing because guys cheat, women cheat, you know, and it's like to my core, I could never do that to myself, let alone someone that I love. Like I wouldn't hurt myself in that way to do something like that. And obviously not everyone's like that, but I can only hold those values to me, you know, and it's just like,
force it.
So, you know, I could never do that, but it's a really weird path. But like I said, if you're in the middle of it and you're already like, oh, there'll be a reward on the backside of this too, you know, your mentality wise, and it's just like, oh fuck, I'm going to be good.
Yeah,
you know,
you have to think like that. Yeah. I actually reminds me of like, and I'm not going to get the quote right, but like Andy Frisella, he's like a pretty big entrepreneur. He does his own podcast in the States and stuff, and he's very like hard-headed, like this kind of thing. And he goes, it's business related, but it applies to life. He's like, entrepreneurship's like 90% of it is just getting kicked in the balls every day. Yeah. And then 8% of it is like you're just sort of scraping by, sort of getting it done. 2% of it is winning. Yeah. And then once that 2%'s done, you're back to the 90% kicked in the balls. Yeah. And it's just this cycle. Like you win until you don't, and then it's just hard, and then it's just something else. And you keep putting yourself in those positions. You're going to keep putting yourself in those positions, whether you like it or not, because it's just life. Yeah. Like the people that you love are going to die. You're probably going to lose your job. Fucking something's going to happen. You're going to get old and sick and all sorts of shit.
How fuck's life,
bro? People don't accept the fact that it's fucking hard. Yeah. And it's difficult the whole time. Yeah. And they expect it to be this thing like happiness is a place and comfort is a place. It doesn't. It's a feeling, and it's a very short, small point in time. I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, I think I got, you know, and your podcast is called the Flow State Podcast, but I think I was so close to flow state about 6 months ago. Like I really was. And what I would call modern day flow state, what it really come down to was that flow state was everything in my head. and how you looked at everything, you know, and it's just like, and, you know, going back to, you know, life throws you a bunch of shit, and it's like if you get past those things, you're stronger and better for them if you've got the right headset for it. And that ends up being what I would call flow state, is you've got control over your own mind to be simply like, this too will pass. Yes, this isn't ideal. This isn't great. This is what I expected out of life, but it's fine. It's life. Let's just live it, be happy in the moment. And then it's just, yeah, it's like, and I heard this saying not so long ago. I think it was from a podcast. And the guy is like, when you're healthy, you've got every problem in the world. When you're sick, you've got one problem, because it brings everything in perspective.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. You know, it's like, so it's like, I'm just like right now, I'm just trying to go through life that whatever drama happens or hardship happens is like, it'll be fine. You know, it's all good. I'm living. I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. Like there's where my thoughts are. Are my kids healthy? Am I healthy? You know, the people around me that I really love and care about happy? Fuck yeah, life's good. Let's go.
100%.
You know?
I think like, and I'm obviously not an expert, but like my biggest piece of advice that I learned myself is like, emotional-based decisions are never warranted. Like never, ever, ever make emotional-based decisions. Otherwise, they're usually 99% bad all of the fucking time. And then all you have to focus on when you're going through hard times is just waking up the next day and just fucking taking a step forward. And it might be fucking like the most tiny step. It might be just like go outside and get some sun, go for a walk, get a coffee, like just do something, continue and don't put any thought into it. Don't put any feeling towards it. Just go and do something positive.
Yeah.
And then it ends up by the time you realize it's been and gone and you already progressed to a point where you're better than you were before.
100%, yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah,
in.
no, like I had me bad days going through it, and I would just do stuff like that. Oh, I'll do this first. Let's just worry about. And it gets to the point where it's like, you know, you worry about one day at a time. It gets to the point where you're like, I'll worry about every fucking 10 minutes at a time. So let's do this first. Let's do that first, you know, and it's just whatever it was, hitting the gym, going for a walk, organising a hunt, you know, and it's like essentially at the time those things feel like you're just putting off. You're putting off. But and it's not putting off, and it's not addressing what the issue is. Sometimes you don't have the capacity to address what the issue is, and all you're doing is buying time. And there's nothing wrong with buying time.
100%.
I'm going to do this first. I'm going to do that first. The big thing that I do know is if you fucking check out, there ain't no more time. There, you know, and it's just, I think I've told this story a few times, but I was renting a house off a family in Canberra. And the daughter came around, and like lovely person, very pretty, very kind. She come around, flowers, welcomed us into the house and everything like that. She had a boyfriend at the time. She was 21, and her boyfriend broke up with her, and she ended her life because she thought that was her world, right? And that's not hard to do. Like, you know, if you've got a big heart on yourself and, you know, you meet the right person or what you think's the right person, you do. You make them your world, you know. And she thought that was her world, and she ended her life. There's no opportunity for her to find the actual real love in her life. That's gone. You know, you've stripped yourself of that, and you've stripped everyone that cares about you of something. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's a fucking weird thing, but like I actually believe suicide's contagious. Like you hear about it or someone does it around you, and it's just like it's forefront of mind then, you know, and then your brain starts thinking, hey, this is the ultimate escape. This is the ultimate escape. You really want to escape? Just end your life. No dramas anymore. But it's like, fuck, one day makes a massive difference, let alone a week, a month, a year. It's like I never pictured myself here right now.
Me neither.
Never pictured myself here right now. And the thing is, you'll never get to do those pictures if you check out, you know. And it's just like, so just fucking hold on, buy some time. Yeah. Whatever it is. Go to the gym, fucking watch a movie, go and hang out with your kids, talk to a friend, like whatever you got to do, just buy time, even if it's something you really don't want to do.
You owe your existence to the people that care about you too, that you've brought into your life. Yeah. Like it'd be like you doing yourself in now and leaving your kids behind, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty shitty thing to do, I think, like to someone that you care
100%, about. Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, like, and you know, like when I was living on the streets, obviously it was a, you know, really bad environment. And I seen a lot of suicide, like people checking out and stuff like that. And you would think things weren't actually as bad they didn't seem as bad in their life, at least what I could see, to be able to do something like that. But, you don't know all their other thoughts and what's going through their head and what's happened in their past, what their history is and stuff like that to check out. But then it's just like, and now I've obviously being an older man, you realize like, yeah, but they could have made history so much different, and sometimes it is just hanging on and just, I seen people talk about suicide like as in, and this is people that I was living on the streets with, talked about suicide like they'll care about me then, like as in like, they'll feel sorry for me then, and I'll prove to them then, that if I killed myself, and that was the sort of talk. And then getting older, I've not seen people, but know of people that have committed suicide, and it works quite the opposite, where they hate you because you fucking checked out. They hate you because you checked out on your kids. They hate you because you checked out on your wife or your loved one or your family, and it ends up, and it's just like, I wonder if they seen that side of things, that would give them a second thought. As in, no, they're not going to feel sorry for you. They're not going to feel sad for you. They're actually going to be fucking pissed off that you checked out, that you took the easy road and checked out. So don't do it.
I'm like that with my old man, really. Like, he didn't do himself in, but he was a real good dad. Like, I had a really good upbringing, and my parents tried their best to give me every opportunity so I got nothing to complain about. But he just sort of got comfy with life, got lazy, used to drink a little bit, wasn't a violent drunk, and never used to get blind, rotten, stinking drunk, but just one of those older fellas that had a few beers every arvo, smoked cigarettes, all that sort of stuff, didn't look after his health. Had a couple of heart attacks that were sort of undiagnosed, that we sort of realised after the fact that he was probably having them. And then went on a sort of holiday thing with my mum. I was just moving back from Darwin back to the East Coast, and he had a heart attack and died in the street on my mum.
Oh, fuck.
And it fucked my mum. Like, my mum's not the same person that she was back then. Fucked my family. Me and my dad are basically very similar in personality and all of that sort of stuff. It put a wedge in my family. He let like everybody down, and that's how I see it. And I really struggle with forgiveness for that.
Yeah.
And I've tried a heap of times to try and shift my mentality towards that, but I just can't. I just feel like because he's got a granddaughter now. Like, my daughter's 3 years old. Never seen her, never gonna see her, obviously, all that sort of stuff. My mum's by herself now in a small town. Doing life by herself. Like, they had all these plans to travel and all that sort of shit, and just because he didn't look after his health, he basically fucked our family.
Yeah. I think a part of that's the society we live in as well, where it's like, you're not really told of, well, at least you weren't. It's a lot more of it's coming to light now. You're not really told how bad that actually is for your health, and it just seems like, she'll be right, and sit around and blah, blah. But it's like, no, you actually owe it to yourself and your family to stay healthy, to be healthy, to make sure that you're not dying earlier than you should, if it can be avoided and stuff like that. So, but yeah, definitely a fucking tough one, but
not as tough as your situation, man. No way. Like, I got nothing to complain about. But
of course you do. Everyone's got their own complaints.
It's all relative.
It don't fucking help anyone.
No.
So who gives a fuck?
That's right.
And it's
just get on with it.
And I think it's very important, and I know you well enough too, that the only reason we're talking about this sort of stuff is because at least there might be some byproduct out of it that helps someone. I couldn't give a fuck if people knew that I lived on the street and what I'd witnessed and what I'd been through. But if it helps someone else, fuck yeah, I give a fuck. Yeah, I want to talk about it. I don't actually really want to talk about my private life at all.
Yeah.
But for the fact or sake that it might help someone else, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll put it all out there on the line. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if that's going to help someone, fuck, that's beautiful. At least that's some sort of recoup of the situation, like, I'm benefiting from it myself because it has made me stronger and, it's more connected and everything like that. And just, I guess, going back to talking about, you'd never want to turn into one of them sour people that are like, all women are sluts because someone gets cheated on and stuff like that. I'd never wanted to be like that, and I'll never ever be like that, because you realize it's an individual thing, and,
yeah,
it's not great, but these things happen. It's how you move on from it, and it's just like, all it did to me was actually made me love harder. And I'm not talking about loving another. I do love another woman, but I'm not talking about just loving another woman. I mean, it makes me love harder everything. Love nature harder, love my kids more, love a friend more, love fucking a stranger on the street more. It's just like, it's given me a bigger heart. It's given me better emotions, I believe, and it's made me a lot stronger, you know. And it's just like, so I'm happy for it.
100%, man. I agree with that. Exactly the same. I've been keeping an eye on the time for you.
Yeah, no.
My dad dying did two things. It made me put the hammer down with my business and like be like, I'm not fucking missing out. Like, cause he had like heaps of opportunities to achieve things, and he just never did.
Did you have a fear of death before that happened in your life? You know, maybe dying early and trying to fit in.
Not as bad, I reckon.
Okay.
I reckon it's amplified it.
Yeah.
Just from the perspective that it's so finite, like it's all over, and like a whole heap of shit changes when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Like he had opportunities to achieve things and just never took them. Like he was extremely good at sport. He's where I got a lot of my physical skills from and everything like that, and a lot of my mentality. Like he was the reason I was so good at sport. He was one of those fathers that would never really, I don't know if this is good or not, but it made me achieve lots in sport and stuff. He's like, he would never really tell you how good you went. He would always tell you what you did wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll fucking show you, you old cunt. And then I would train like an animal, and I would get like good, like, which is good and bad. But I knew he loved me, and he was like very supportive and used to drive me across the country to events and all sorts of things. So like I was very appreciative of all that. But that kicked me into gear to really push hard with business and achieve things in life. On the flip side, it fucked my previous relationship because I was so driven to get out of the 9 to 5 and the corporate job. Yeah. And I was so focused on doing something here that I put my relationship with my previous partner on the back burner. I wasn't a good enough dad with my newborn baby daughter, like all of that sort of stuff.
How'd that work out for you, Mel? So there's a benefit even in that. But
literally. I shit the bed with that, and it took me a long time to come to. I still struggle with it. Like I still feel I carry like an immense amount of guilt. And it's never going to fix anything, but it's like I use that as fuel to continue to improve who I am as a person. Like I'll never make that mistake again or those mistakes again, and I'll try and be a better person from that. Like I can't change the past, but it put me on a path to really achieving things in business. Whether that's better or not, I don't know. But then I've met Melanie, who's like me but a girl, basically, and we've achieved so much. Even more, like the business has scaled exponentially since she's come on board. Yeah. We're just aligned in life. We do the same things and all of that. It's based on my best friend as well. Yeah. So like I've won but lost an equal amount. And I put it all back towards that was a pivotal point in my life, my dad dying. And I could have sat with that and hated him and resented him and just sat with that and just fucking
being one of them sour cunts that I was talking about.
Lived a mediocre life, man, and just ended up getting to 50, 60 and still being with my previous partner and us hating each other. Like we get along now.
And I really sort of shit. I always say it all happens for a reason, but the reason is because you won't fucking quit and you move on, you know. And I got this, like my mindset is I don't give a fuck about who you were yesterday. I don't give a fuck who you're going to tell me about that you're going to be tomorrow. I care about who you are today, you know. And it's like, if you have that mindset, and this even goes towards my ex that I was very hurt over, I don't like that's in the past now. That's fine, you know. Like that's in the past. Yes, it's put us to where we are, but that's in the past, and I actually forgave her for it. I care about you being good now, you know, and healthy, and learning lessons from whatever. Even if you know that it was what was you did in the past was wrong, if you learn a lesson from it and you move on from it, as in you properly move on from it. You know, and you learn, then it's just like, fuck, we're all only living today for the very first time.
None of us know what the fuck we're doing, man.
No, we're all living the day for the first time. That doesn't give you an excuse to be a cunt or anything like that. You know, it's just like, we all know it's all written on our hearts what's good and bad, you know, and it's just like, but yeah, I don't care about what you've done in the past. I don't care who you're telling me you're going to be out in the future. I care about who you are today, and that goes with anyone in life, you know, and it's like, and that doesn't mean if someone does you wrong that you just take them back. That doesn't mean if someone does you wrong that you're still friends with them the next day. It's like, no, those beds are made as well. But, you know, for anyone else, it's just, Yeah.
I think people like mistake forgiveness too is like, it doesn't have to be I forgive that you did me dirty and I forgive you and then we're back to normal. Yeah. Forgiveness is accepting the fact that you did it and knowing that I'm okay with that. Yeah. And we might never be friends again or whatever. Yeah. But I forgive you for what you did because I'm trying to be a better person. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't use that.
Yeah, I don't like, and who am I to say, but you shouldn't be holding guilt from the past either, bud. Like that happened. That's like you've lived through that stage, and if the guilt changed you in a better way or whatever, then it's acted as its purpose at that time. But there's no use carrying it on. There's no use holding it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and that comes down to why I said it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Who are you today? You know, who are you today, and how are you moving forward with life? And
100%. It's funny, like a lot of the people that I like assimilate with and like that inspire me and that I appreciate being around and stuff, have all been through similar things at different times of their lives and different perspective and stuff. And I feel like those types of hardships, because my hardship's quite small compared to most people that have been through some fucked up shit, but it's all relative to what your time on earth is. And I think it puts you on that path, you know, to like those overachievers.
The most passionate people that I've ever met have all been through major shit in their life. Like, because, you know, and it's like, and I'm not friends with any cocks, so that makes that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, because, you know, some of them might have been through hardship and they end up being the sour person and they're cocks, so I've got nothing to do with them, so I don't know them. So, yeah, of course, the only people that I actually know that are passionate have been through shit, because they're the ones that turn their life around or used it as fuel or to benefit their life, you know. And I'm not saying that you have to go through shit to be, you know, someone cool in this lifetime, but fuck, it certainly builds a certain sort of character, and it builds strength, and just that's what,
perspective, man, I reckon.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's so hard to look at it in a negative way when you use it for fuel and building and to be a better person. So it's like, fuck, I'm not signing up for any of that fucking shit again. And I didn't sign up for it the first time, but I'm glad that it fucking happened, because I'm through the other side of it and I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And I think like you probably got through it better and quicker than most people that haven't been through that sort of life experience with it all.
Oh, 100%. It was like, I didn't go to anyone. I didn't seek out really talking to anyone. I was talking to my own self, you know, and I was like, I was just constantly processing, you know, and it's like, there was actually a day that I thought I lost my mind. I walked around a vehicle, because when I found out I was traveling, so I was locked in a vehicle for myself for 5 days, basically, when I found out what was going down. And there was one stop that I did somewhere, might have been in the middle of nowhere, central Queensland, and I didn't even realise, but I was just walked around in a circle in my vehicle, and I got back to the bull bar on the vehicle, and I just stopped, and I actually come to the realisation, like, you're nearly losing your mind. Just calm down, concentrate on breathing, and just, you know, I was talking to God. I was like, that's the only talk that I was actually doing, was pretty much to God. And I just felt this. It was like hot water running out of my head down through my toes, you know, and just like, and I got to a point when I was calm again, and I was like, right, this has happened. Yeah. Fuck, it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal, but this has happened. Deal with it. Get the fuck on with it. Like, no, time's not waiting for anyone. So get on with it. And what's get on with it mean? Process it. So you start processing it, and that's horrible. But, you know, it's like I said, when you've already been in the shit with so many different things in life, and you've come out the other side and you're better, then you're just like, oh, I'm here now, and at some point I'll be here, and life's better here.
Yeah.
So I would just get on with it and get to that point, you know, and it's probably the best way that I can explain it.
Yeah. Sorry, right?
But yeah, just processing, not ignoring, not, you know, really thinking about it, divulging the fucking information, which is very hurtful, and realizing that you're you, as in one person, and, you know, because I thought I'd lose trust forever, for everything. I just thought, you know, and who wants to not trust? Like, that's fucking like, seriously, not trusting's horrible. Like, you're in fight and flight mode all the time. But what I realized was I do have trust, but the trust is for myself. And that's the best place for trust to sit, because if you trust yourself, you can trust other people, because you trust yourself that, one, I won't neck myself if something like this happens. I trust myself that I won't harm myself. I trust myself that I'll make the right decision if someone breaks my trust, and that's a really nice way to be able to trust someone else again, because you trust yourself that you'll make the right decision if someone does something bad to you like that.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, to have that was really fucking building for me. you know, and it's like I got all this respect back for myself that I'd felt like I'd lost over the years. I'd lost a certain amount of respect for myself, you know, because I found out something 5 or 6 years ago. She basically told me that she'd never do that again, blah, blah, blah. It's the mother of my children. I want the best for her. I want to protect her. I wanted to look after her. But I lost trust at that point, you know, for like taking her back the first time it happened. And I didn't know that. And I had like this, I'm sorry to talk about this.
No,
but,
man,
you know,
no.
It's just coming out. The podcast is what it is.
That's
it's coming
good.
out to me.
It's all good.
I always want to be truthful and honest in whatever I'm talking about. And I didn't realize at the time that I'd lost that respect for myself when I took her back the first time. And then obviously, so the second time it happened, well, when I found out that it had never stopped, you know, she basically had an affair for the 5 years that I took her back for, that when I actually said, we're over, this is over, fuck, I mean instantly. Like, I grew a foot taller. Fucking instantly, because I just got all this respect back. You know, I felt like, fuck yeah, I'm not putting up with this shit. I was born into this world alone, and I'll leave it alone too. So it's like, of course, like, yeah, like, fuck. You want to be with the mother to your children till you fucking die. Like that, my dream was to grow old and die for. You know, even on a more intimate level, like sex is very sacred to me. You know, I've never been like a player. I've never played the field. I haven't been with a bunch of women. It's never interested me. I've like got these old values, and it comes down to that intimacy, even touch and a kiss, even time and talk is very sacred to me. So I don't give it out to everyone. You know what I mean? I don't have a bunch of friends, and that's for a certain reason, because I feel like that's very, very important, you know, and it shouldn't be given out to everyone. Hence, I'm on a fucking podcast telling the world, but not in that sense, but you know what I mean? And just like, so it wasn't my plan. It's not what I wanted, but the growth in it, and like I said, getting that respect back and realizing like, no, I'm my own person, you know, I've got to be happy with myself and stuff like that was like fucking incredible. I feel richer in life now than I ever have before.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and like not to my design, like I said, you know, kids, wife, I've always wanted life to be like that, you know, no one else. And it turns out that it can't be like that because it takes two, you know, but you're only one. So it's like to be able to move on beyond that. And it's like, and this like anyone that's in a good relationship, fucking turn the mic off, turn your headphones off now. But to know that you'll be all right by yourself, and that's just life, and you can move on, and then there's a fucking, very possibly a beautiful, beautiful fucking rainbow beyond what you think's the best rainbow already, you know. And it's like, yeah, it's a beautiful realization, and a lot of strength comes with it as well. That's just like, oh no, I will be all right. Yeah. You know, I am okay no matter what. So it's like, if you're at that point, you know, and been through that situation, it's just like, fuck, nothing can break me.
Yep.
Like fucking try. Seriously, nothing can break me. And if nothing can break me, then fuck, I'm always going to be good, you know? And it's just, yeah, it's a real, character building's not the right word for it. It's soul building. That's what it fucking is.
I agree. I'm still on that path. Like I'm still fighting heaps of demons and all sorts of stuff, but yeah. I just continue to stick to achieving and just like, and getting shit done.
Yeah.
And accepting that fact. And then like a big one for me is like I don't get to see my daughter every day outside of the job that I do now because I travel heaps. But like even if I'm at home, she doesn't live with me, so like I don't get to see her all the time, and that hurts. But what it's done is driven me to, when I am with her, it'd be quality time. My phone is nowhere near me. I'm just spending time with her.
Yeah, nice.
And we always go and do something fun, something she wants to do. And she's like a little girly girl. Like she doesn't want to do. Yeah. She's not interested in boats or hunting or anything like that. And I don't even care.
Yeah.
And like I try and do that. What helped me get through it was like putting myself through physical pain. And I don't mean like self-harm, but like I would just run.
Yeah.
Until no watching bullshit and tracking nothing. Fuck that. It's just run until I can't run anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And the physical pain gave me mental clarity, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because you can't think about when you're fucking sucking in air and like trying not to die, you don't really think about anything else. And that sort of helped me sort of get onto the path and then focus on business. And then circling back to sort of what you said about can get by solo, that's one big thing that's carried me a long way. It's like, I don't need anyone. And I don't mean that like I love having Melanie in my life and my family and my daughter and all that sort of stuff. But if they were all gone, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And knowing that you can still get done what you need to do that way is like what would you call it? Like relieving.
Yeah.
Not
definitely.
the right choice of words, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. It's just like, no, I want my kids, and I really love having someone to share life with. Like that's just part of who I am, and that's how I want life to be. But at the end of the day, if those things aren't in my control, then you have to be able to live still. You have to be able to move on, And it's just like when I was going for all the shit, I was like, fucking what's next? It better not be what I'm fucking thinking. I won't even say it on this podcast. But if someone that I love gets fucking sick, it's just like, but that too is just like, no, I could, as hard as it is, I'd have to get past that too. I know parents that have lost children and they still live life because there's other people in their life that they have to live life for, It's just, anyway, let's fucking change the subject. Let's talk about
heavy. That was heavy, man. That was heavy. I appreciate talking about it. And we don't have to include it, man. Like it's totally fine.
Oh, no, I don't. It is what it is. It's just fucking, yeah. It's just the timing's right now. And just, like I said, if there's a byproduct of this where it helps someone else, then I'm all for talking about it, And it's like, and I know that I've already helped a dozen men through a similar situation and a couple of girls as well, that have, they're like, what do you do or how'd you get past this? And, there's certain people that know what's going on, and to be able to help someone through there is, and it's probably just an excuse to make it feel better what happened and everything like that is that I am able to help people now. I am able to talk about the situation. I am able to, make warriors out of some people, it's just like.
That feels good though, man. Like I've got 2% of the audience you have, and I've made changes in like, I don't know, I could probably count 10, I reckon, 10 people that I don't know and any physically never met them.
Yeah.
And they've just reached out to me and told me that the podcast, that episodes that I've done with yourself and a few other people and stuff have completely changed their direction in life and everything.
Yep.
That feels awesome. And I feel like that's what humans were and should sort of pivot back to is like
it does
trying to lift each other.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. I just want to help people. And if I can't help you, then fucking move on and I'll move on too.
Yeah.
And it's like, and if you're going to be a negative light in my life, then fucking you can move on too. It's just like all I got time for is the positive.
Yeah.
That's all I got time for. And it's just like, and I'm not saying I don't let negative in sometimes, like some people will say something or whatever and it does. And all it's doing is burning up my time when I could be doing something positive for something that benefits me or someone else. That's all. Does this benefit someone? Does this talk benefit someone? Fuck, I hope so.
I think it will, man. I think this will touch a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. Like, no one's perfect. Everyone has shit days. Like, I fucking, every now and then I'll have a shower and I'll sit on the floor and bawl my eyes out for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'll get up, shake it off and get on with it. Like, it's just everyone's.
No, you do. You have your shit days and it's just, but it's getting past it.
Yeah.
And getting the fuck on with it, And I've had a few people that have moped to me and moped to me and moped to me and moped to me. And you have to be like, well, how the fuck is this helping? Like, get the fuck on with it. Because that's what I tell myself. If I can tell myself that, I'll tell you too. Get on with it.
Yep.
This isn't making it any better, And it's just like, fucking get on with it. Don't check the fuck out, And it's just like, don't stress about it. And when I say don't stress about it, doesn't mean don't deal with it. It doesn't mean don't tick it off the list and get it done. It just means stressing about it's not going to help.
No.
And like even being sad about it really doesn't fucking help. If you need a little downer every now and then, but yeah, fucking get on with it, son.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%, man. It probably ties into, if you have something to say, were you going to say something?
I was going to say slip into it. That's what my mate Mick says. And he's a fucking concreter, so of course he says that.
Yeah.
But just a diehard worder, and you'd be like, well, slip into it.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. Get on with it.
Continue.
Yeah.
100%. And that's like in parallel with why my business and what I'm about is set up that way is because of shit like this. Is like, I don't give a fuck about the money. Not really. Like, I need it to do the things I need to do and all that sort of stuff. But it's a byproduct of having good relationships with people. Like people, the brands I want to work with, it's just why I don't shoot real estate, weddings and corporate fucking, because I don't enjoy the people. I don't enjoy the industry, none of it. Whereas doing what I do here, I I speak to hunters, I speak to fishermen.
Yeah.
The brands that I work with.
You're doing what you love.
Yeah. Like I'm their customer essentially. So I know what their needs are and we try and over deliver on everything. And the money is just a transactional thing that happens to keep us both afloat type deal. And when we lift with the brand, as they make more money, we make more money. So we invest our time, they invest their money in us. And it's just like a positive circle of sort of growth for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's what I've built the business on, is like adding value without it being like a transactional thing like a generic agency would be.
Yeah.
And
which is obviously good for your head.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want to be doing and that's what you want to be into. And I can see the passion in you when you're talking about, when you're telling me about that elephant story, I was like, oh, fuck, that's cool. You know, and it's like, where's this take you? You know, like being in the industry takes you to places like that.
Man, like the armpit of Africa, and it's a country that probably no one knows about, like not many people, Gabon.
Yeah.
Like it's up under the armpit of Africa.
Yeah.
It's this tiny little thing and it backs onto the Congo and it's like 80% of it's rainforest. And like nearly all of it's national park.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and we went in, it's like you fly, to get there from Australia, you fly to Dubai, then fly to Abidjan, which is like near Egypt, and then you fly from there to Libreville, which is the capital city of Gabon. Looks like it's been fucking bombed. Like it's just proper third world, man, savage. Like can't go out at night, it's dangerous as shit.
Yeah.
Stay in this dodgy motel, hookers everywhere, like hectic. Got charged like 30 US for 2 bottles of water because they just stitch up with money. If you don't have change, like you're just fucked. And jump on there, drive back to the airport, jump on a charter flight for an hour-ish, hour and a half to this random little dirt airstrip, jump in a cruiser, drive another hour down this busted-ass red dirt road, pull up at the bank of this lagoon, jump in longboats, go for nearly 2 hours down this lagoon to get to like a lodge that's down there in a village that they built like 15 years ago just with all the locals and stuff like that. And that's where you operate out of. And it's like takes 3 days to get there from home.
Unreal.
Yeah. And it's just like, there's like elephants walking around camp. There's fish everywhere, buffalo.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's incredible, man.
Yeah, memories for life. But you've aligned that, like through what you do, you've like, that's where it ends up, you know? And it's like, and that's not even the finish line. Because it's like, oh, what's the next trip now? You know, and like
literally. Well, I'm going to Mongolia in September, end of September. On the same sort of project for the same crew and everything to film a fishery there with tame, and I'm not sure if you know what they are. They're like, they get as long as this table.
Oh, really?
Big fish, and they eat like birds and lizards and stuff.
Oh,
and they catch them
sick.
on fly. So, and they're like endangered species. Like there's a heap of conservation programs and stuff for them. And it's in Mongolia. We're flying there. It takes ages to get there. I can't even remember the logistics. We go and shoot the fishing side of it for like a week or two. And then we're going to, we've got like a local pass to an eagle festival. So it's a coming of age for all the young fellas, and they get given their first eagle, and they do eagle hunts and horse archery. Like it's a full like indigenous people. You can't just go there. You need an invite. And we're going there and experiencing that. It's 4 days drive to get to the festival from where we are, which is fucking madness for me. Like it blows my mind. But all these people are like nomadic, live in yurts and like travel all around the place and follow sort of the rains and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. And I'm getting paid to go there and do that. So
that's
fucking
mad.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't realize that shit until you have conversations with people that don't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it feels normal to me now, where I just sort of plan out my year around these big projects and the experiences that you get to have. Like same as you, but like you go all over the world hunting and
Yeah, my girlfriend's like, are you excited to go away? I'm like, no, because I'm living in the moment right now. But when I get there, I'll be fucking excited.
100%.
You know, and it's like, and then, you know, and because that, again, that's not wishing. You don't want to wish the moment that you're away right now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, so it's just, and she's like, are you excited? I'm like, I will be when I get there. But like right now, I'm excited for life right now, right here. You know, and I said, and I'll do this mission and it'll be amazing. And it's like, and it sounds like you're not thankful. But it's like, but then I'll be looking for the next one.
100%.
And the next one. And the next one, you know, and it's just like, because it's just, there's no top.
No.
There's actually no top of the ladder. There's just like, it's just a constant, awesome climb no matter what you're going through.
Literally.
And it's like, yeah, they're the more memorable ones, the more happy, memorable ones. But, you know, it's like, it's also getting there and it's also right now and it's also thinking, you know, it's fucking, it's a trip, but. You know, and people will say, like they say to Cam, you know, oh, it must be nice. And it's like, he's lined that up. So, yeah, it is nice. But he's lined that up.
You're
he's
so lucky.
put the work in to get there, you know, and it's just like, and it's the same with you. Instead of doing weddings and shit like that, you're like, I like the outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Where's that lead to? Well, that leads to these cool countries, you know, and this mad trip and everything like that. So.
And don't get me wrong, it's a fucking slog to get here because there's not a lot of work, and you need to know somebody to get into this industry properly.
Yeah.
It was 5 years of just heartache and pain.
It doesn't look like that on Instagram. It looks all good, mate. Of course it looks all good. I'm promoting the good.
Literally.
You know, I'm not promoting, you know, how I went to the bathroom this morning.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a fuck about that.
All my fucking 14-hour days sitting on a fucking computer at 10 o'clock at night, jet lag. Like, literally, I got in here last night.
Yeah. I'm promoting the good life. I'm not trying to say all I live is the good life. That's what I want to show you, though, because that's what I want to promote, you know. And it's just like, and you slip a little bit of the bad shit in as well, like this podcast. Not a dig at all, but you know, it's just like, yeah, it's funny that people just think everything's handed to you, and it's just like, oh my God, if you only knew, you know, if you only knew. But there's a reward in putting your neck out there. And this is the reward on our end of thing. This is the reward anyway, you know.
100%. You're so lucky. People saying that offends me.
Yeah,
don't say it to me. It fucking offends me. It's not.
Oh, he got lucky. And I'm like, fuck, do you know how hard I was working to kill that deer and what it cost to get here? Like, I've lost jobs. You know, I've moved states, you know, and now I've moved countries all in pursuit of something. It's like it all comes at a risk. You know, it's all effort. It's all hard.
Yeah.
But if you're not scared of effort, you know, and hardship and stuff like that, well, holy fuck.
The world's your
We're
oyster,
going to eat it up.
100%.
Absolutely eat it up.
You got this meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I better do it.
Have you got time after it? Or you got a boost?
No, I've actually got another 20 minutes. They're going to be 3:30 now. So that's
Are they?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Keep chatting, yeah.
Mad. All right. I was just going to tap into some hunting yarns, man, because you've done a fair bit of shit since I last saw you.
Yeah.
You've been Italy.
Yeah. So, you know, talking about moving, like to chase in pursuit of game, you know, so I was living in Canberra in Australia, ACT, and there's a bit of hunting around Canberra. You can't actually legally hunt in the state at all. Yeah, you know, it has to be in New South Wales, out of state. You can't hunt in the ACT by law. But, you know, there was pretty good hunting around there. And then I went up to the Hunter Valley and did a bunch of door knocking, like 3 days, like just going from property to property, door knocking, sleeping in the car, door knocking. And, you know, for anyone that doesn't understand, door knocking is basically you go up to the farmhouse and you just, you know, essentially you're like, hey, you know, I'm in the area. I'm a bow hunter. I'm just wondering if there was any feral animals here that, you know, you'd allow me access to hunt, you know, that sort of thing. And I got access on 2 decent stations and both of them full of fallow deer and a few red deer, pigs, goats, foxes, feral cats, rabbits, probably wild dogs. There might be a species or 2 I've forgotten about in there. But, you know, from Canberra, it's like an 8-hour drive. So I literally moved from where I'd fully established myself and set up to the Hunter Valley, like Newcastle, on the East Coast for the pursuit of wild game. You know, it's like I always wanted to shoot like a 250 class fallow deer. Yeah, even though when I first moved there, a big fallow deer was 210, you know, Douglas score. And so since we've done that last podcast, I've shot 2 of the biggest fallow deer that I think I'll ever shoot in Australia, like by a long shot, like just perfectly beautiful big fallow deer. Well, that's the pinnacle of my hunting career and living in New South Wales at least anyway.
Didn't one slip you the year before?
Yeah, he did, yeah. And then one this year already. That would have beat those. A rifle shooter that was shooting kangaroos got him in the headlights overnight and shot him and just cut the head off, not even knowing what it was. And it's a giant fallow deer. And like that is something I'll cry and get sour over for sure. Like, fuck, it hurts. And my good friend Lonnie too, because Lonnie was chasing it. I actually had 2 opportunities to kill him last year, but my buddy was chasing him pretty hard. One opportunity was it was like at 22 yards, laying down fast asleep. And I passed it up, which, like, I'm not even saying that as in big noting. I'd do anything like that for a close friend. But to then find out that he got bigger this year and they shot him in velvet in a spotlight, it's like damaging. Lonnie's.
It would have probably been soft too, eh?
Yeah, I reckon Lonnie's cried in the shower to himself a few times. Yeah, he was soft. He was too round at the tips. But and then so the plan was like, these are the biggest fallow deer I've ever shot. I don't think I'm ever going to better them, and I've spent the last 10 years, longer, 13 years there chasing them to get a deer of that size. So I'm like, I'm going to move to Queensland now and concentrate on, I've always wanted to shoot a big chital stag and a big rooster stag, and like Queensland's the place to do that now. So the plan was and still is to not live there, but like buy a place up in Queensland, like, a second home basically. And but the other thing that fellow deer done was my friend Joe's like always saying, mate, come to Tuscany, I'll get you on to like a 280, 290 fallow deer, maybe even better. And I've always rejected the offer because I've never wanted to go somewhere that a 250 is small, because that's what Tuscany is. A 250 is a run-of-the-mill buck, because I never wanted to damage the currency of what I'm chasing back in Australia and that I've worked so hard for. But now that I'd shot 2 big fallow deer, I was like, you know what? And he offered again. He's like, you should, come out to Tuscany this year. And I'm like, you know what? I'll fucking be there. This is like 2 weeks' notice. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. And I was already in America. I'd been chasing elk with Rogan and Cam and Evan, my mate. And so I booked the flight, went from America to Tuscany, ended up shooting a 232 fallow, 332. I'll get it right. That number sounds so fucking fucked in my head,
bro. Wow.
Yeah, 332 Douglas Point fallow deer. It's like nuts, ridiculous on day one. So yeah, that would have fucked me for Australia for sure, but it doesn't. It's weird now that I've been there and done it. It actually doesn't, because you realise what the currency is for Tuscany, and you realise what the currency is for Australia, depending on when you're shooting. And I don't want someone from Australia listening to this and being like, oh, 250 is the mark. It's like, no, you can only shoot what's big for where you're hunting. 180 might be the biggest fallow deer where you're hunting. That's an incredible trophy. Forget the Douglas score and the, top 20s or 10s or whatever it is. What's big for your area? How much effort did you put into it? Like, that's a fucking great deer. So don't let me wreck what the currency is for a fallow deer or any deer for you back home. It's just like, I just happen to be in a really good area with good access with really big fallow deer. And it was the same with Tuscany, like those 250s look like 180s after day one, because you're seeing 280s, and like one's close to 300 like every day, so it sort of does that. But yeah, so I ended up shooting 3 really big fallow deer in Tuscany. I shot my biggest 3 fallow deer back in Australia. I've done a bunch of buffalo hunts. Do you know Lachlan Keeves?
I know who he is, yeah.
Yeah. So like I try and use Keeves for like all my videos back home in Australia and everything like that. He's a bowhunter himself, so he knows it. And he come and filmed the last buffalo hunt with me, which was friggin' awesome. And I shot a bunch of rooster and just, mate, I'm constantly hungry. I think that's what it is. I'm just constantly fucking hungry, and it's just like, I can't see myself stopping this until my body actually stops. And if I keep treating my body well and just keeping on top of things, I can't see my body stopping for a long time, So fucking, I'm out on the murder, baby.
It's never been easier to keep healthy too with the amount of resources available now.
Yeah. There's a lot of misinformation out there too, though. It's just like, you can't just go to the internet for it, and it's like, my biggest thing was like actually going in the ways to Wells. And I thought the biggest thing was going to be getting stem cell injections, and it worked brilliantly on me. I had 3 really bad injuries. I had the heel injury, I had the back injury, and I had this elbow injury, And this last round, I got to the elbow. So every time I've been in there, it's been for the heel or the ankle that was really bad, and it's come 100% now. And then I went in once for my back. I had a bad lower back issues just from construction work, fucking whatever, all of it. And carrying deer out of dumb places and shit like that, as you do. And that fall that I had in New Zealand damaged my back as well. So a couple of compounding injuries. They fixed that up in one shot. They fixed the elbow up in one shot, which they're all injury things, that feel good. But whole system-wise, feeling good was simply just getting my blood work done, you know, and realizing they're like, you're deficient in magnesium, you're deficient in, you know, whatever it was. And it's just like, we need to get you to the optimal range. These are a little bit high. We need to bring them down. And to do that, and then, like I said, I seriously feel like I'm in my 20s, you know, and it's like, and, you know, added to that was doing the hypoxic conditioning, which it's heaps easier to lose weight in hypoxic conditioning. It's heaps easier to build muscle in hypoxic conditioning, which I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. But doing that and like realizing how quick you can get fit. You know, it's just like before I was like, I do like weights, you know, for a month on end and hardly see any results from it. Just like, fucking hell, this is hard. And it's like to getting my blood checked, to getting the right supplements so my body's at optimal, to now it's like if I do 2 weeks in the gym, like even if I miss the gym for a while and I get back there and I do 2 weeks and see the results after 2 weeks, it's like, oh, fuck, this is easy. It's actually really easy to build muscle. It's actually really easy to lose weight, but you have to get everything else right first. You know, and it's like, and of course, fucking food. And I got a massive sweet tooth, dude. Massive fucking sweet tooth. Like, I can't help it. It's just like, that's my addiction. But eating clean, yeah, and it's easy to get on board when you hang around fucking dudes like Rogan and Haynes, you know, and it's just like, we go into hunting camp and all the boys are eating is like red meat and fruit. And it's like, and that's what I stick to now. Like I've started doing those things and it's just like, holy fuck, it's so easy to lose weight. There's no excuse for this bullshit. Like even when I was making excuses before, I'm so busy and blah, blah. And I tell you, headspace wise, maybe you are too busy. Maybe you can't fit anything else in. You know, nah, fuck it. That's a bad excuse for anyone. You can fit more in. You can do more. Fucking get on to it. You know, but it's just like, but it is hard, you know, in that sense. And it's just like I said, you know, going into retirement and then being like, oh, I've got this free time. But it ain't free time to sit around on the couch and do fuck all. I'm busier now than I've ever been. And that's how I want to be and that's how I want to stay and, yeah, just be on top of it like that.
That's the way to be. And it just optimizes you for everything, man. You're mentally clearer.
Yeah.
Like, you make better decisions, all that sort of stuff. Fucking, I'm
and just
it.
like, and, you know, I hadn't been single for fucking 30 years. You know, and it's just like, that's a whole other podcast talking about fucking going on a date nap. I had never been, date naps weren't fucking around when I was fucking single fucking 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's just like, but what I found is, and even me, myself, I'm attracted to people that have substance. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like you can have all the fucking Botox and pretty hair and like all that, and not a dig at any of the women, like good on them, you know. Not a dig at fucking anyone. But for me personally, what's really attractive is someone with substance, you know, and it's just like, and, you know, I found my, I'll say this just to offend her, my current girlfriend, she's really pretty and she's got lots of substance. But beyond that, it's just like, fuck, how beautiful she is inside.
Proper. Both
Don't
ways.
Say that because she might look at this and be like, yeah, fucking he is, isn't he? So, no, I think she's punching. But having deep conversations with her, it's the same. It's just like I've got substance, you know, and that substance isn't deliberate in the sense as in like, oh, I'll be a cool hunter and I'll do all these cool things so then a chick likes me. It's like, no, fuck, I'm doing them to myself. I'm impressing myself, you know. I'm trying to be good and fulfill my own life, but that just happens to be really attractive, 100%. You know, to other people as well. So yeah, it was sort of nice to, and like I'll say it, fucking no cunt look me up. Please don't look me up. Actually, you can't anyway. I've deleted the account, but I went on to Hinge, you know, because I was like, fucking, well, how do you look, you know? And this is what they do. I don't go out clubbing. I don't drink or anything like that. And it's just like, you know, am I going to meet someone at church? Like, where am I going to meet someone, you know? So it's just like, I'll go on this Hinge app and I was pretty like I said, I'm straightforward. If you've got an issue with me, then fucking whatever, at least it's out there and you know who I am. And we don't have to waste time with each other. And that's what I put out on Hinge as well. I'm like, I don't have fucking real selfies of myself unless I'm in camo carrying fucking meat out of the mountains or a skull or it's me posing with a fucking fish. And I'm like, you know, that's who I am anyway. So they're the photos I'm going to put up. So I literally, my profile picture was me hiking out of the back of Montana after fucking 32 days because I went in before season. So I'd been in there for 32 days and I'd had a couple of cold showers and baths under waterfalls and shit like that. But it's like carrying 2 bloody elk legs out there over my shoulder. And the chicks digged it. Yeah. And it's just like, and I just, so it's fucking, that's substance though. It's just like, it's not another dude just like posing at fucking the club or something like that, or just on a beach somewhere. Not that there's anything wrong with the beach, but it's just like that picture just read substance. And my current girlfriend's picture as well read substance. It was her hiking like one of the hardest hikes back here. And it was like the sun, I think the sun was just rising or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this chick's into it.
After it. Yeah, you got stories, you've got like life experience, all that sort of shit, man. I'm exactly the same. Like, show me what you look like with nothing on. I don't give a shit about makeup. It doesn't enhance anything to me. Like, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Physical body as it is.
Yeah, and you're just talking about guys right now.
Yeah, literally, just fellas. As long as you haven't got a hairy back on the fucking floor of me.
You're into it. Well, I'm fucking out. I've got a hairy back, bud, so let's just stay friends.
You're safe then.
But, no, it's true. It's just, and I got no time to fucking waste, eh? Like, none of us actually do, but whether you realise that or not. So I've got no time for fakeness or anything, so just fucking put it out there. Show me who you actually are. Not anymore. I'm not talking about chicks. I'm just talking about people in general, like even someone I'm going to be friends or an associate with. Just be you and show me who you are. We're either compatible or we're not,
Yeah, and then there's no hard feelings if I don't get around it.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same. We were the same. Here's my dirty laundry. Here's my dirty laundry. This is who I am.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. It doesn't.
Yeah, get it out there and in the open and just, And what if it doesn't work? That's fine too. It doesn't have to work. We don't have to be friends, or we don't have to be boyfriend, girlfriend, or we don't have to get married or whatever it might be, It's just, we are all who we are.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Tell me about this this rooster hunt in Newcastle.
Are
you allowed to or not?
I tell you what, I'm really concerned about them grabbing me when I go in now.
Really?
Like, properly concerned. It's too late because the podcast is out there and stuff like that, just because of what I've heard from it after saying about it as well, that, I'm really concerned about them grabbing me before I go into the country now.
Are you going back then? No.
Yeah, I booked the next 2 years.
Fuck.
Yeah. And it's a hard one because, like, even though it's all in civil unrest and fucking crazy, I can't have a handgun when I'm in the country for protection and stuff like that. And just like, there's certain things that I haven't talked about on the hunt too, but it's just like you'll be out in the middle of nowhere and there will just be like footprints in the mud, like human footprints, no shoes or nothing on. Like, there's like literally militia getting around there full time. So it's definitely a hard one. I've actually thought about cancelling this year's hunt because of how much of a concern it is of going into that country now and getting grabbed. So the concern's not about the militia anymore. Well, it is that as well when I get there, but the concern is actually getting grabbed by, anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And because it's a complicated bloody country really with how it operates and like that political unrest been there for, or civil unrest been there for yonks too.
Yeah,
it's
a
just
long time.
Come to a head now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like anyone, I don't really want to give advice on it either, but it's anyone that's going there for a tourist reason, if you stick to the coast, around the major city there, I think that's absolutely fine. And there was police officer executed right in the city.
Jesus.
The end of, so nearly a year and a half ago now, which isn't that long, they did cancel their hunting season for a few years, but that was the appeal of going there too. It's like, oh,
fresh, man.
Fresh, all these stags have been unharassed and stuff like that. And there was every chance of shooting a 40-inch stag there when I was there, which is for a rooster is fucking monster. Gigantic. And I spoke to Evan about this quite a bit, and it's a fucking pretty nuts place when you're away from the city, it's nuts on both ends. It's just not nuts because of the natives, it's nuts because of the whites as well.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's like one of my friends was there, and I won't say her name because I haven't asked her if I could say this on the podcast or in anything. she was there at the same time as me, and I actually give her the heads up. She was with an outfit, like a proper outfit, which runs a really good show there as well, and I think they'd protect all their clients anyway, and definitely protect their clients. And they were hunting the coastline, so it was a little bit different as well. But I gave her the heads up. It's like, hey, just so you know, it's actually not safe to go out overnight in these places and keep your eyes out for this. And she's like, we literally just seen a mob of people dressed in KKK outfits heading out for the night. Like full dress.
Hectic, man.
Full dress, full public, full daylight, heading out for the night, obviously. So it's like, I think I didn't want to... It was hard I had a lot more to say when me and Evan were talking about it in the same studio, actually, that, you start talking and it sort of gets away from it and stuff like that, because I did want to say a few other things, but it's just like, because it's both sides, and both sides have a reason, because that's what war's like. It's like, you killed my brother, or, you killed my mother, or, you raped, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, so it's just like, they are enemies now, and rightfully so. Once it's kicked off, rightfully so, because certain things happen in war, the civil war, certain things happen in war that, it's just, fuck, if we're talking eye for an eye, then it's...
And it just snowballs because they keep committing on each side.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse and worse. Yeah, it's crazy.
And, it's like, and it's funny because, it's not all the Canucks, it's like, it's not, we're talking... militia, you know, and it's not all the French, because we're just talking about these ones, so it's like, it's not it's, even though it's a race thing in the country, it's not a race thing, it's like, and who's right and who's wrong, and it's just like, who fucking really knows?
It'll get forgotten about who's right and who's wrong, or who was right and wrong. It just
because it's been going for forever. It's just, but that doesn't stop me from being caught up in the mix.
Nah.
That doesn't, and I was told not to talk about that story, but it's just like, fuck, how can't you? You know what I mean? And it's just like, there's another one about up in North Canada, and I was also told not to talk about this one because they would cancel me, as in not from social media. I mean, like, they would fucking kill me. Because there's some really bad stuff that's going on in North Canada too, but I'm not going to talk. I'm literally not going to talk about it. It's just like, and I followed that up a couple of times. And I'm like, no, I really want to talk about this. I think this needs to be out so people are aware, and they're just like, you definitely cannot talk about this, on anything, because they actually know people that have gone missing from trying to bring it to the public, and it's just like, fucking. There's shit like this going on all over the world.
It happens in Australia too.
Yeah,
the Indigenous communities.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about that too, because a lot of my work's there. But like the same shit, literally the same shit with remote Indigenous communities, and the disconnect between government and supporting those communities. Man, there's some fucked up shit that happens.
And you would be aware that I worked with very, very closely with Indigenous people and Indigenous communities for like 15 years when I had the business, because, part owner was an Indigenous woman. And I had a certain incentive to try and employ, up to 50% of local Indigenous. At one point I was at 75%. It was incredible. And, and so I got to be close to a lot of, Indigenous people and see the shit that they were actually dealing with, and it's just like, and it's hard, and just, I've spoken about it many, many times, but again, you don't know who you're offending and stuff like that, and it's like, essentially, it's not my place to talk about it. Like, these people haven't given me permission to talk about these things, and and it is their thing, so I don't really have a right to talk about it in that sense. But it's pretty fucking.
Yeah, I try not to too, man. It's too hard to navigate, and then it just ends up causing more problems than it solves. So I'm the same. We should probably let you wind up, man. You got your meeting in a minute. Yeah. What's next for you for the rest? What's the next few big things for you for the rest of the year?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to the Western Hunt Expo. You guys will be there too, so that'll be nice. Right now, I'm trying to establish my life here in the US. And it's just like, Australia will always be home. My 3 beautiful children are there, even though they're much older. That's hard to let go. You know, it's like really hard to let go. I've like been responsible for them for so long, and I've looked after them and cherished them and protected them in every way that I could in life. And then they're adults, and it's just like, it's fucking hard. Like, but I'll worry about them until the day I die. I don't care what they got going on, how good their lives are, how old they are. It's just like, and I want to, you know, I like being like that. I can't help being like that.
You're supposed to.
And then, so, you know, I try and talk to them every day still. My daughter's trying to catch waves. My eldest son's trying to work. And my middle child's trying to fucking live his life to the best as well, you know. So it's just like, but to know that they love and care me and respect me, and it's just like, fuck, it's so beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to, you know, establish my life here in the US. I'm trying to get closer and closer to a flow state as possible. But, you know, I'm just really enjoying life. I've really, for many, many years, I've been able to put the finger on exactly what I fucking like.
That's good.
You know, and execute what I like, you know, and it's the wilds. You know, it's the ocean, it's the mountains, it's the fucking desert, it's nature, it's hunting, it's been fucking one. It's been appreciative for every situation that I find myself in because I'm still fucking alive. You know, even those horrible situations and even the best situations, you know, and it's just like, yeah, it's taking it all in. It's realizing that this is life. Life's really complicated. Life's really difficult to understand. So stop trying to fucking understand it so hard and just live it, you know.
Just slip in.
But yeah, Western Hunt Expo tomorrow, just slip in, good one. And I'm off to West Texas to do a backcountry hunt, which I've hardly prepped for. So I need to get home tonight and try and do that. I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with my new girl. You know, you met her today at lunch.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Yeah, she's a lovely little human. And then on the bigger scale of things, New Zealand, the raw as always, Northern Territory for buffalo. Trying to do as many films as I can. You know, I feel like I've got a lot of good things to show, to say. You know, I've got a lot of positive things to push. So, you know, it's like being more accepted. Yeah, I've turned a lot of films down over the years, and it's like, why not? Why aren't you filming? Why aren't you putting the word out? It's a good word. You know, I'm not promoting anything negative or nasty or fucking hurting anyone. So, yeah, a lot of films and just taking all the opportunities as they fucking come. You know, like I want to do at least 2 or 3 really extreme hunts every year. I think I'll end up going back to somewhere in North Canada. I want to do mountain goat hunt this year, but I want to do it in an extreme winter, like when it's just fuckery. Tar and chamois, extreme winter when it's just fuckery as well. And just who fucking knows? I might be somewhere else next week again. Like seriously, you know, I don't know.
I draw a lot of similarities.
I want to do more diving, you know, more spearfishing. You know, I want to do, like, even though there's 27 huntable species in Australia and I've shot them all, and most of them I've shot multiple times. I can't get enough of hunting in Australia. I seriously can't get enough of it. I love that there's no season, there's no tags, there's no limits, there's no
quality animals.
You know, and that's not just to be able to go out there and bomb up, which I fucking do on pigs and everything all the time, but the freedom to hunt in what could be called a hunting mecca is incredible. And, you know, Africa doesn't give me the same appeal. Africa's got who knows how many species. Like, fuck me. For some reason, Africa doesn't give me the same appeal. I'd go there for a Congo, in the bongo in the Congo. I'd go there for Cape buffalo, and then that's all that I'm interested in Africa for now. At least until I'm 70 and you can hardly get around. You can fucking hunt Africa out of a wheelchair if you want. It's all pretty flat. Maybe not where you've been, but a lot of it's all flat. But yeah, I just living life, dude. You know, and it's just like I'm always labeled the bowhunter, but fuck, I'm a liver of life. You know, it's just like.
That's just a tool. That's your vehicle, man.
Yeah. I love it all. Fucking, I absolutely love it all.
Yes, actually, thank you to Black Rifle Coffee Co. for letting me hijack your studio.
Yeah, no, the boys are absolute legends here. They're just fucking really stand-up guys. So,
Good yarn, man. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I know it's you don't have a lot of windows, but I appreciate you making time.
No, it worked out perfect. It's just like,
that's twice in a row it's worked out. We had a little window to
let's do it. And I'm like, actually, I got a studio we can use too.
That actually made it way easier because I couldn't bring a heap of shit with me. So
I actually said to these guys, I'm like, I got a couple of guys here from Australia, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, they're just going to do a podcast. Okay. Nah, cool. Nah, thanks to you and thanks to Mel too.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
See you, bud. Sweet.